G'day folks, welcome to Noda. This is a 3D mind mapping application that works in VR. Might not look like a productivity tool, but it is. So this is a location that you get, or that becomes available once you've subscribed to the service. In the free version, this is your default room. It's kind of like a little holodeck. Or you get the grid, which is an infinite space, which is good for collaboration, which you do under the meeting tab, where multiple users can be in the same environmental space, virtual space, and you can break off and go into little clusters and then come back to a central point of view. However, if you're going to do that and it's as a business or a development team or what have you, Gallery might be a better one, simply because you've got little platforms where you can build your models and collaborate, and a nice big open central space for you to actually bring all your ideas together and link them through to one common mind map. So, for example, if you're building a software package, you could have your GPS team over here. You could have the graphics team over there. You could have the marketing team over there. You could have your sort of cross-platform compatibility team there, and in this central space you can all bring your ideas into the one main project. So brainstorm up the app here, then split it off into mind maps where each team can build their own thing, and then everybody can go for a wander around and see how they all tie together. The last location you can get access to is the sunroom. It's a very zen space, and if you have the right music on, say Mystic Dawn, you could actually just sit down on a cushion and chill and meditate. So while it is a productivity tool, there's also an element of mindfulness and good work-life balance. You can take a break, pop out. Your mind map will still be there, but you can switch location and just turn your back on the map and chill for a bit. There's other tracks. But personally, if I'm going to have music playing while I'm working in a mind map, it's probably going to be something off Spotify playing through my phone. Okay, so yes, this has a browser built in. Startpage.com. One of the features of the in-game or the in-app browser. Let's just do that. One of the features is you can actually grab images from web pages and pull them into your mind map. So let's say we want to get rid of all of that. I'm just going to try this. I don't know if it works, but do I get a voice to text? No, I do not. It doesn't work in the browser. Okay. So let's go to, let's bring up Hey, Interesting. There we go, that's better. Isn't that pretty? Go away, Dropbox. Isn't that beautiful? So let's say we go to the virtual frontier. Actually, yeah, we can do that. Okay, so say I want to build a mind map of virtual reality apps. Isn't that cool? Okay, so I want to grab that picture there. So you use your 2 pointers to mark out the opposite corners of a rectangle selector box. Let go. You do that by holding down both your index triggers. Put your hand in there, grab with your middle finger. Oh, come on. There we go. And then link them. So parent to child node. Hover or put your selector marker over a node until the circle gets big. Index finger, drag to child, let go. And you may have seen that it snapped into place there just before I let go. Okay, so that's one virtual reality app. What else have we got? Let's have a look, say. At Zot. What about the one that came before that? Which should be cubism, if I remember correctly. Hello, are you going to go? You're not going anywhere. There we go. And there it is. Boink. Cubism. So, bring your pointers closer to the browser screen till you see the box appear, a bit hard to see on these color scheme. Hold down your 2 index trigger fingers to make your marker, and then middle finger to grab. Isn't that cool? And of course you can do others, make that apparent to there. Oh look, bonus download content. Let's make a note of that. Okay. Thank you. That'll be enough of that. So this gives you an idea of how it works. That's one way of making nodes and linking pictures off a website to them. If you want to change the color of the node and change the shape of it, perhaps. And you can use your shapes and colors to give it some thematic coding of some types. So we'll say there and there. So it could be that in this little universe of mine, that star is a key point. green circles, or green spheres I should say, are the apps, and the yellow cylinders, although they're not really cylinders, but they're cylindrical, cylindroids, are perhaps, key points about it to remember, we'll say. You can come up with your own theming. You're pretty smart people, obviously. You wouldn't be mucking around in VR if you weren't. And you saw me making links between these items quite easily. So I'll just create a new node. Just to go over that again, hover over the parent node, hold down your index trigger finger, pull it down to the child node and let go. Now the big point about parent and child nodes is when it comes to the collapsing. So you see how it says collapse there? If I hover over a parent node and hit collapse, it sucks all the child nodes inside it. And to let you know that it has content inside it, you get the little orbiting balls. Now they will always be orbiting balls regardless of the shape. Regardless of the shape, they will always be balls. And of course you can nest them like that. Put down your index tree. You get some pretty interesting stuff when the whole text to speech to text kicks in. Why for you say this strange thing? And the collapse button also turns into expand. And there you go. Now it will remember the state of that. If I was to collapse that with that extended, right, and then re-expand it, it comes back out. But as you can see, that was collapsed in a collapsed state, so its children didn't automatically pop out later. I really need to find a better way to word that at some point, I think. Okay, so you've seen also how speech to text works, which is a great thing. How to easily add a label. Here you go. I want this. I already have this. There you go. Right, now, as for how you can manipulate these shapes, one of the other things you can do other than adjust the color is also adjust the opacity. Now, here's an interesting thing. As you lower the opacity, making it more and more transparent, the text label will move down to the heart of the node. And if you leave it halfway, it gets a bit weird. But the point is that if you take it down to full transparent, you don't have this text floating in the middle of nowhere. It actually becomes the marker of the node. And if you hover over it, you see the node becomes partially visible again. So that's why that. So this is just one that I'm building for the sake of nothing. See, it's untitled. I'm going to dump that because it didn't work, and I'm going to dump this because I'm finished with it. I'm going to show you the say what map, and here it is. Okay, this is the map that I use quite regularly to maintain and monitor and plan what's coming next with the magazine. And as you can see, I'm using shapes and colors for keying. So your stellated icosahedron. Actually, it's not an icosahedron. It's a stellated duodecahedron. Yes, it is. A stellated duodecahedron is my idea seeds. I picked that one because it kind of made me think of virus and pollen. So, things that grow Cubes are the target issue, so in April, the April issue has the 100th issue giveaways. Actually ended up getting 2 out of them. That was great. 2 out of AJ Hackett. That was great. So the April issue has those giveaways. It also has a giveaway for Peko Peko and a giveaway for another book from Scholastic. May issue is going to have Noda, ta-da, in the virtual reality. So you can also see how it's possible to take one idea and link it in multiple contexts. So the domestic tourism feature ideas, that's my header, if you will. Idea seeds. From these will come ideas of places I can go, stay, eat, etc. And from here will come new ideas for new columns, etc. None in the works at the moment, but that is the way of it. So this is how I work out the magazine. I normally, however, like working in the hangar because it's bright enough that I can see. It is interesting texture for visual texture, to reiterate a word. But it's all the artwork is, all the background imagery is dim enough that my map is still extremely visible. There's no bright patches of sky that get in the way of me being able to read the labels, etc. Now, you need to keep in mind, if you're going to get into this, that it is still under development. They know they have a lot to do, but they are working very quickly on fixing it, and feedback that is given gets actioned pretty quick. A couple of months ago, when I first started exploring Noda, I was recording a walkthrough video, and I noted that the speech-to-text engine wasn't working properly. I will give you an example. It didn't work properly in here, so when I did this, I could see that my voice was being registered, but no text was happening. And they fixed it. I noticed the app got an update recently, and in that update, they fixed it. I was so happy. Other controls here, so you've got your select button, which is the bottom button under your right thumb, and literally you just do that. And then it lets you select multiple items, but I'm just going to get rid of that for now. I'll show you how I did that in a moment. And it works on line of sight. So if I do this, not only have I selected the items I wanted to select, but I have also inadvertently selected this link and this link right back here. There are limitations. So what you need to do is make sure that what you want to select is the only thing available to select. It's the only thing that gets in the way. And yoink. Yeah, that's the best I'm going to be able to do. But it does mean that you can move things around as a group without having to do something like shrink it down, pull it, re-expand it. Personally, I prefer this option. I find this a lot more easy to use, especially as it keeps all the child links and nodes in the same position relative to the one that I have moved. Whereas doing that, you can see that it doesn't work out quite as well. You will find your own way to use the app. Now, I said I'd show you how to delete something. Create a node. Hover over the node or link. Hang on, I will... So I may decide that I don't want these two items linked. So I just hover over the link, pull the thumbstick down towards me, and then click the trigger. Okay, as soon as my selector turns black, that's in delete mode. And the same works for a node. Perhaps I want to clone that node. Select the item, trigger and grab finger. So index finger and middle finger simultaneously makes a clone and links them. And the node you've pulled from is the parent. Okay, doink. Get rid of the whole lot. So that's really how the guns of it. There's not really a huge amount to go into at this stage because it's, as I say, still under development. But more to the point, it has the key ingredients of all good productivity apps. It is simple to use. It is very intuitive once you get used to it, and that doesn't take very long. I was very used to using it after about 10 minutes of playing with it. But then I'm very comfortable in VR. If it's an environment you're still new to and you're not used to remapping certain functions of thought into action, it might take you a little bit longer. You will get the hang of it. And I have to tell you that the ability to structure out ideas like this and walk away from them and come back later and go, you know, if I just look at it from a different angle, I kind of see a new connection. You know, these bits kind of, you know, I kind of could link the idea of shooting a patron video that combined Noda and Peko Peko, because I looked at it from a different point of view. Okay? This is a great app. I would be lost without it. And even the free version is incredibly functional, although there are limitations. You can only do a maximum of 3 maps, and you have a node limit. Combined across the 3 maps, there is a limit to the amount of nodes you can build before you have to go to a subscription. Nonetheless, I actually planned out the magazine for about 3 months on the free version quite happily. And then I started to get excited and planning more things. And then the main hard drive crashed and I had to build some mind maps on things that I needed to rebuild. And I ran into the node limit and decided, okay, I need to do this properly, and ended up talking to the developers, providing them with some good feedback, and they kindly provided me with an unlock link as consideration for my efforts. And so for that, they also get a write-up in the magazine because I want to share how amazing this app is for me with you guys. So there you have it. Thank you very much, everybody, and I look forward to showing you the next VR app as it comes around. Cheers.